Okay. Yeah. See the next concept. So anyhow, so far I have covered plenty of models which are related to magnetic field of induction, and we solved some problems also. Okay. And in the last classes, I covered some board level concepts. Okay. NCERT, some topics are over. So almost according to NCERT, all topics are covered. Now today class means in this session, let me focus some concepts important for entrances. Means I am going to cover almost all concepts which are important for entrance point of view. Anyhow, magnetic field is over, but some concepts are there, like concepts based on force. So far you know direction of the force, means that force acting on a current carrying conductor placed in uniform magnetic field, and force acting on charged particle which is moving in magnetic field. So we know the force. Now let us learn some extra concepts and problems which are important for all type of entrances, JEE, mains and other levels also, NEET and all the exams. So let me discuss concepts which are based on force. So concepts on force. So you know already direction of a force. Okay. So so far we used the direction of the force acting on current carrying conductor. Just we determine the direction by using Fleming's left hand rule. Okay. So not only Fleming's left hand rule, by using Fleming's right hand rule also we can identify in what direction in what direction the force will act on that conductor. Okay, maybe conductor having charge or conductor having some current. Now let us learn Fleming's right hand rule also in this class. Okay, so you know already, let us suppose this is the magnetic field which is into the board. So this is the magnetic field which is into the board. Here if any conductor whose length is L, okay, and this is carries some current I. No doubt this conductor experiences a force. Okay, some force is acting on the conductor. You know the direction of this force. Generally, the direction of the force can be determined by using Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, according to our previous method. See, this is the field. See, this is the magnetic field direction, and this is the motion of the charge or current, and this is the force acting on that wire, maybe conductor or whatever maybe. Here, if I place my hand like this, then this will give what? Direction of magnetic field. This is motion of charge. Now right now I am placing towards you. This is the direction of the force. Now see the magnetic field which is into the board. So you place the hand like this. If I place my hand in this manner, so if I place like this, field is upward. Now field is into the board. Field is into the board, and see this is the motion of the charge, otherwise current, and this is the force. But see, current is moving upwards on board. So here you place it and see current is upward. You turn the hand like this. Current is upward, then it will experience as a force towards left side. Towards left side. So you know all these things. Just I am recalling once again. So the force acting on this conductor whose length is L, we can write as BIL sin theta. Anyhow, theta becomes 90 here. Angle between these two is 90. So L and B. So maximum force it will experience, that is equivalent to BIL. Okay. So here the force is towards left, and this force means direction of the force we can also identify it by using Fleming's right hand rule also. Generally, Fleming's right hand rule is very easy to identify the direction comparing to the Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, you can follow any one method. I am going to teach two methods. So far I used the Fleming's left hand rule. Now today I am going to use Fleming's right hand rule also. Okay, so before using Fleming's right hand rule, let me do the previous problem again. This is the conductor, carries current I, field is again into the board. You know this also, which is covered already. So this is something P, Q. Here this L, you know that it is the shortest distance. So the shortest distance is, so this wire can be replaced by a current wire whose length is, if radius is R, then the length of the wire is 2R, semicircle. So the shortest distance from P to Q is 2R. And see, this is in inward magnetic field. So current anyhow it is, so this semicircular wire is replaced by a straight wire whose length is 2R. Okay, because L is the shortest gap between initial point, final point. Whatever may be the path, it is a distance. Okay, now see, sorry, it's not a distance, displacement. Distance means, okay, it's not correct. Displacement. Okay, L bar cross B bar. Okay. So here, the force experienced is, see the place. Magnetic field is into the board, current, and see the force experienced is upward. Here it will experience as a force upward, BIL, L nothing but 2R, and this force is upward on board. Okay, so L is what? Displacement. Okay, it's not distance. And BI 2R. See how to identify this direction of force by using Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, let me identify the direction by using Fleming's right hand rule. So very simple technique. See, this is the right hand, and here to identify the direction of the force, just keep all these fingers. Okay, keep all these fingers. All these fingers will represent direction of magnetic field. All these fingers represent direction of magnetic field. All the fingers, keep in mind. Thumb represents current or motion of charge, and this palm shows force. If I place my hand like this, if I place my hand in this manner, these all fingers will give the direction of magnetic field. This is motion of charge, nothing but current, and this shows towards you. So this is the direction of the force. This is force. If I place my hand in this manner, this is magnetic field, and into the body is current. This is the force. Just you check here. Field is into the board. Field is into the board means I have to keep these four fingers into the board. So into the board. So into the board. And see, if I place my hand like this, see the current, in which side the current is there? Upward. If I place my hand in this manner, current is left side, wrong. So you keep like this. See, current is upward. Current is upward. Fingers, all these fingers are into the board. And see, the hand shows this side. This will give the direction of force. So this is the force. It is easy to identify. By using right hand rule, we can identify direction of force very easily comparing to the Fleming's left hand rule. See here, inward. And see, if I place my hand, current is left. Is current is moving left? No, current is right side. Here the current is flowing right side. So if I place my hand, the direction of force is downwards. But which direction the current is flowing? Right side. So keep the hand like this. So current is in this direction. Okay, impossible to keep like this. So here, if I place my hand, these fingers will give magnetic field. This is current, and see the hand will move upwards. So this will show direction of force. Okay. So follow right hand rule. Based on your convenience, you can use left hand rule, otherwise right hand rule. I am going to use two rules. Okay. So based on the situation, you can use any rule. Okay. Now let us see one more. If it is a charge, I think this also covered in the last classes. So this craft nothing but field is into the board, magnetic field into the board, and charged particle is moving like this. Charged particle is moving in this direction. So use the right hand rule. Field. Which side the charge is moving? Right side. Thumb. Okay, right side. And which side this palm shows? Upwards. So direction of the force is upward. If it is a negative charge, if it is electron, then direction of force is opposite to the positive charge. If it is a positive charge, upward onward according to this diagram. If it is a negative charge, force is downwards. See, same thing I covered in case of magnetic field. Starting first class, I shown already, like a swastik symbol you will get, like cross current with current. This is current, and here I calculated the magnetic field. So to get that one, see, just recall the first class. See, this is the direction of field. Direction of the field already covered in last classes. Now the target is to learn the direction of force and some force related problems. So that is our target. Okay. So NCERT level anyhow covered. See, if it is a field outward, for suppose same question they given, the field is outward. Magnetic field is outward means this is outward, circle. Field is towards you. Use the right hand rule. You try this one. So I place my hand like this towards you. Fingers are towards you. See which direction the current is flowing. Current is flowing right side. Means you replace this wire with some straight wire. And this is magnetic field. See, if I place my hand, fingers anyhow magnetic field. This is current. But if current is flowing up, no, current is right side. So keep like this. See which side the palm shows? Downwards. The downwards will give direction of force. Okay, this force again anyhow dI to R. Okay, so keep the Fleming's right hand rule and left hand rule in your mind to identify the direction of force. Okay, now let me calculate force between two parallel charges. Anyhow we know force between two parallel current carrying conductors. See, in the last class I covered force between two parallel current carrying conductors. That we got it as F by L, force per unit length I got. F by L is mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi R. So that is the case for current. Now let me find out force between two parallel charges. So force between two parallel charges. Two parallel currents already covered. Okay. Yeah, it's visible. So two parallel charges. Okay. Here, let us suppose one charge I am taking Q1, 1 point charge. One more charge I am taking something Q2. Both are some positive charges. Both are moving with some same speed V. Both are moving with same speed V. Otherwise V1, V2, that's not a problem. Okay. So if it moves with speed something V, and if they separated by distance R, then here there are two types of forces. One is electrostatic force. Okay, electrostatic force is no doubt that is repulsive force, because this charge will repel this because positive nature. So there will be an electrostatic force. One electrostatic force is acting right side and one more electrostatic force is acting left side. Electrostatic force is anyhow repulsive force. Okay, you know these things in electrostatics. Let us see in what direction magnetic force will act. Okay, magnetic force. Here, due to this charge, here the charge is moving in this direction, nothing but a current. Due to this current at this point, what is the direction of the magnetic field? Into the board. You feel that this is like a something wire. You feel like that to understand the direction of the field. At this point, direction of field is into the board at a distance of R. This is some straight wire. You feel like that. Otherwise, use Biot-Savart's law. So here, the magnetic field of induction at Q2 due to Q1 is, we can write something D1. The magnetic field of induction at this charge, because of Q1, that I taken as B1. So B1, generally you know from Biot-Savart's law, I think you remembered from Biot-Savart's rule, magnetic field of induction, we can write it as B is equal to mu naught I dl sine theta 4 pi r square. You remember this formula, Biot-Savart's law. So let us change this Biot-Savart's law in terms of charges. I, we can write it as Q by dt. I nothing but charge by time. dl you keep as it is, r square sine theta. So B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi. Q by dt is V. Sorry, Q you keep as it is. dl by dt is velocity, r square sine theta. See, this is another format of Biot-Savart's law in terms of charge and in terms of velocity. If current and length is given, you write regular formula. And see, this is one more form of Biot-Savart's law in terms of charge and velocity. So that is mu naught by 4 pi qv by r square sine theta. Here B1 we can replace that mu naught by 4 pi q means q1. Because of this I am writing field at here. Q1 V, if it is V1 you write V1. Okay, if it is V2 you write based on here right now. Okay, let us write V1 V2. So Q1 V1. Okay, Q1 V1 by r square, and sine theta is 90 anyhow here. So sine 90 no need to write. Okay, this is the B1. So I got this field at this point. So indirectly this charge experiences a magnetic force because of this magnetic field. Magnetic field is into the board. Let us see in what direction the magnetic force is at. Field is into the board. Field is into the board. See, I am using right hand rule. Field is into the board. These are field lines. Okay. Field is into the board. Charge moving upward. Charge moving upward. See which side this will shows. This hand. The hand shows this side. Means it will experience some magnetic force like this left. And similarly, this also experiences magnetic force right side. Why? Because if this is moving upward, observe carefully. You feel this has something current wire. Due to this, here the field is outward. Field is outward. Field is outward towards you. Field is outward and current is moving up. Means charge is moving up. Field is outward. See, this is moving up. See the hand right side. This side. So this is the magnetic force. Okay. So these are the directions of magnetic forces. Now the magnetic force on experienced by any charge. Okay, both charges will be same, equal and opposite. Experienced by Q2, we can write it as F is equal to BQV sin theta. If any charge is in a magnetic field, that force acting on the charged particle, you know, BQV. So BQV, B nothing but B1. Here field is B1. Q nothing but Q2. V nothing but V2. Now the force experienced by this one is B1. Just now you got it. Mu naught by 4 pi Q1 V1 R square and Q2 V2. So this is the force experienced by Q2. Similarly, it is equal. These two are equal and opposite. So this is the force equation. If velocities are same, mu naught by 4 pi Q1 Q2 by R square, V1 V2 same means V square. Okay, that is the force. Okay, so force experienced by this one. Similarly, you will get the same. And observe here, due to magnetic force, you know already, if two current carrying conductors carries currents in same direction, you know that they will attract with each other. If two parallel current carrying wires carries currents in same direction, they will attract with each other. Recall the previous topic. If they carries currents in opposite direction, they will repel with each other. Here, two charges. If two like charges, maybe two protons, maybe two electrons. If two like charges moving parallel to each other, then see, they experience electrical force and they experience magnetic force. Then tell me which one is correct. Because of magnetic force, what happened here? Because of magnetic force, they will try to attract. Because of electrical force, they try to repel. Then what is the answer here? Okay, if these are the current carrying conductors, then we can say directly they will attract with each other. If they carry currents in opposite direction, they will repel with each other. But here, these are not current carrying conductors, charged particles. You feel that some point charges. Because of electrical force, there is a repulsion. Because of magnetic force, there will be an attraction. But you know, means generally, if we compare the forces, Coulomb force is dominant than magnetic force. So electrostatic force generally greater than magnetic force. That's why, tell me what happened here. Whether the charged particles, these two charges will attract or repel. Definitely they will repel. Okay, because Coulomb force dominate than magnetic force. That's why these two charged particles will repel with each other. Keep in mind. Okay, and here I got force between two parallel charges is, final formula I got it as mu naught by 4 pi q1 q2 v1 v2 by r square. Okay, so observe carefully and practice number of times. Okay, now let me calculate the ratio of electrical force to the magnetic force. Anyhow, I got magnetic force. See, this is the magnetic force between them. Magnetic force between them, I got it as, see, small extension I am going to do here only. See, finally, I got magnetic force between the two charged particles mu naught by 4 pi q1 q2 v1 v2 by r square. This I got it, magnetic force. See the electrostatic force. If they are at a distance of r, electrostatic force between them, you know, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. If they ask to find any ratio, we can get like this. Just divide electrostatic force and magnetic force. So electrostatic force, okay, directly we can write, I am using now. So q1 q2 by r square. So mu naught by 4 pi q1 q2 v1 v2 by r square. So 4 pi q1 q2 r square, then electrostatic force to the magnetic force between two charged particles is 1 by mu naught epsilon naught. So 1 by mu naught epsilon naught divided by 1 by v1 v2. I think you remember this one. 1 by mu naught epsilon naught is nothing but speed of light. But you know, speed of light is 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught. So this is the speed of light equations. If you substitute mu naught value, anyhow you know mu naught value 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 Henry per meter. Epsilon naught value you are familiar, so that is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. So Newton Coulomb square by some meter square, some units. If you substitute those two values, you will get C is equal to nearly 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So this value we can write it as Fe by Fm 1 by root of this value. So if I use square, C square is equal to this value. So C square by V1 V2. So this is the ratio of electrical force to the magnetic force. So C square by V1 V2. Okay, keep this one in mind. And see, take this. See, I am using Fleming's right hand rule. Don't confuse. Okay, Fleming's right hand rule is somewhat easy than Fleming's left hand rule. You can follow any one, practice number of times, then you can commit for any one rule. Let me solve some easy questions to get some confidence. See, anyhow, you know, if two currents means two current carrying conductors are moving in the same direction, they will attract with each other. In the same manner, let us suppose they given something spring. So they given some spring arrangement. If it carries current like this, see, some I is the current passes through the spring layers. Then tell me, if current passes through these, then the layers will attract, or that means the spring will compress or elongate. Tell me here. So no doubt, if these two, see, currents are in same direction. Currents are in same direction. So according to again Fleming's left hand rule or right hand rule, see, the currents are in same direction means they will attract with each other. Like these are two current carrying conductors, carries currents in same direction. So here, no doubt, keep in mind, spring compresses. So this is one of the previous questions. Keep in mind, spring compresses. Don't think that spring elongates after flowing through the current through the spring. So spring layers will compress because of the direction of the current. So this is like a two parallel current carrying conductors carries current I in same direction. So the spring compresses. Okay. Here, see one more simple question. Some simple question I am doing now. Next, some good level of questions will come. So let me find force between them as shown in figure. So you try this one. Find force between them as shown in figure. Okay. Force per unit length. Let us find force per unit length. See, this is carries something 10 ampere current, and here only this length we have to find. Okay. So it carries something 20 ampere current. This is separated by something 3 centimeter, and this is some 6 centimeter from this wire. Okay. See, we have to find force between these two. Anyhow, this concept already covered. You once again you try this problem. So feel this is I1 current, this is I2 current. Find the force between them and identify whether that force is attractive or repulsive. Okay. Anyhow, these two forces. So let us suppose force between these two is F1. No doubt this is attractive force because of same direction, and force between this one and this one. These two will be cancelled with each other. That also I will show you in next classes. So force between this layer and this one, this current and this current is opposite with each other. Repulse. Okay. So F2. And tell me which force is dominates. Here this distance is less. This force is more. This distance is more. Force is less. So here no doubt F1 greater than F2 because F by L, which is equivalent to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r. F inversely proportional to r. As r is more, this force is less. Now the net force, very simple. It is F1 minus F2. Mu naught I1 I2. Okay, let us write force per length. Mu naught I1 I2. Only for this length I am finding. Mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r. R nothing but first one 3 centimeter. 3 into 10 raised to minus 2 minus mu naught I1 I2. I will substitute I1 I2 later. 2 pi R2. R2 means from here to here 6. Sometimes they may give this is something 4. Only this side is 4. 4 plus 3 7 you write. If it is given 2 plus 3 5. From here to here they mentioned 6. Directly you can write 6. So 6 into 10 raised to minus 2. Mu naught you write outside. Okay. Mu naught by 2 pi. You can write I1 I2 also outside. And you can take 10 raised to minus 2 common. So 1 by 3 minus 1 by 6. So simplification you try it. 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Otherwise 2. I1 10. I2 something 20. Whatever may be the values. So 6, 3, 18. So This is 2. So 2, this is 4 into 10 power, this is plus 2, this will comes to the top, 10 raised to plus 2, 3 by 18, 1 by 6. So 2 by 3, 10 to the power of 4 Newton per meter. So the calculations you verify it and you try to solve this type of easy level of questions. So these are useful for to solve NCERT also. Okay. And let me solve one more question, one more easy question only. Take this. See one more question. So if you want, I will dictate the question. Otherwise, I can write shortcut form of question. So the shortcut form of question is we have to find force on some small part. Otherwise, better you note it down the question. Wires 1 and 2 carries currents I1, I2. They are inclined at an angle theta to each other. What is the force on a small element dl of wire 2 at a distance r as shown in figure? Anyhow, they given the diagram. Now I am going to draw the diagram. So this is also a simple problem. This is the wire. This is wire 1 and another wire is bent like this with an angle something theta. Same problem is covered in magnetic field. So we got something ml square by, sorry, that is moment of inertia here. So we can find magnetic field also. Okay, they given this diagram. They given this is dl. dl part, this distance is r. This is also given theta and this is second wire 2. It carries current I2. This one carries current I1. So read the question and they given this diagram. Target is to find out force acting on the small part. These are also like a parallel wires, but they give an angle theta. See, due to this wire, this wire will experience some force. Why? Because this is in a magnetic field of I1. Due to this wire, here the field is into the board. Let us keep that is B1. Due to the I1, the magnetic field at a distance of R is B1. Tell me how to get this B1? Just you forget about the second wire. Second wire is in a magnetic field of B1. Tell me how to get this B1. B1 means just you recall previous formula. Magnetic field due to straight wire means known length, finite wire. I derived one formula. Based on, by using that formula, I solved plenty of questions. That is, B is equal to mu naught I by 4 pi d sin alpha plus sin beta. I hope that you have remembered that formula. Magnetic field due to straight wire. This is alpha, this is beta. Here formula mu naught I by 4 pi d sin alpha plus sin beta. Use this formula to get the B1. So what is B1? B1 is equals to mu naught I1 by 4 pi r sin alpha plus sin beta. This is theta 90. No doubt how much this one? 90 minus theta. This is also 90 minus theta. Sin alpha 90 minus theta. Sin beta 90 minus theta. So B1 I got it. B1 is equals to sin 90 minus theta is cos theta and cos theta 2 cos theta. Here 2 is there. You strike off it. mu naught by, I am writing 2 pi r cos theta. Sin 90 minus theta is cos theta plus cos theta, 2 cos theta to this 2. Okay, mu naught I by 2 pi r cos theta. I got B1. Then target is to find out force on this. Okay, magnetic force on dl. So force on dl is BIL. B means B1, it's here B1, I means I2, L means DL. So what is the answer? B1, just now we got it. This is I1. Mu naught I1 by 2 pi r cos theta is B1 I2 DL. Now the resultant answer is force on small elemental length is mu naught I1 I2 DL cos theta by 2 pi r. Verify all these calculations. Okay, see one more. Now let me find out force between one current wire, other one is a strip, metal strip. So this model also important for all type of entrances. So now, okay, you write the heading. Heading is enough. Magnetic force between wire and a strip, metal strip, as shown. Okay, so okay, they will give the question format, otherwise the heading is sufficient. So they given this is the wire carries current I1 and one more is given some strip. See, this is the metal strip. Okay, feel that infinity, but we are finding certain length only. For certain length, yeah, this carries current I2 separated by something distance. First one you keep it as A, one side, and this side is B. See the target. We have to find force between them, magnetic force between these. Okay, for this length only, for this length. So this is also like a two parallel current carrying wires, but here one is a strip, other one is a current carrying conductor. One is a parallel wire, one is a wire, other one is a strip. Here, to find this type of problems, you can go for a small element. Okay, you just take a small element in the strip and identify how much current is there in that strip. Okay, so if I take any small portion, see this portion I am taking. This portion I am taking. Okay, this is at a distance of x. I am taking a small portion whose thickness is dx, and here this one, this region, if you take it out, the current is different. Let us consider the current is something I dash. Like in first year topics like center of mass in rotating motion, you are taking a small elemental portion like lambda, sigma, rho. In the same manner in electrostatics, in Gauss law, you are using lambda, mass per length, charge per length, sigma, charge by area, rho, charge by volume. Here also some linear current. Okay, here let us identify how much the current is there in this small portion. See, I am using like this technique, general technique, like for current I2, the length, the side is D. For current I dash, the side is dx. This is the better way. Comparison I am doing now. So do the cross multiplication, you will get directly I2 into dx I dash into D. Then how much the current is there in a small strip? I dash, which is equivalent to I2 by B dx. So I got I dash. So I dash is like a straight wire. Then you apply the formula. So the magnetic force between them is dF by L, force per length I am finding, mu naught I1 I dash by 2 pi x. Gap is how much? X. Then you apply the integration and dF by L mu naught I1 I dash I2 2 pi x b dx. Check this. Apply the integration. See the integration. This becomes F by L and see the limits for right side. Starting is A, ending is from here to here. This B is not from first wire. B is the only side of this strip. So the limits are changes here. Starting limit is A. Ending limit from starting wire is A plus B. So keep in mind, don't write B directly. A plus B. F by L mu naught by 2 pi B you write outside except X, write everything outside. Integration of A plus B 1 by X dx. So force per unit length between these two, mu naught I1 I2 2 pi B, this is like a log X. So log X, substitute limits A plus B, just substitute upper limit minus lower limit, you will get direct one answer. So F by L mu naught I1 I2 2 pi B log of A plus B minus log A. Log A plus B minus log A. You know log A B formula. Log A minus log B is log A by B. Let me write directly one step. A plus B by A. So this is the force per length between wire and a strip. You follow this method. Okay. So here log A minus log B. Log A by B. Okay. Visible up to here. Take this. If they given I1 value and I2 value, you can substitute I1, I2 and A, B if they given starting value and ending value, you will get log of some numbers. So definitely that log of numbers will mention in the question paper. So no need to worry and no need to remember log values and exponential values. Definitely they will mention in each and every JEE paper and in all the entrance papers. Okay, in the starting page only, what are the useful values are there, they will mention those useful values. So no need to worry about calculations of log and other things. No need to remember log 5, log 8, log 9. Up to log 2 we can remember easily. Okay, like 0.30, 60 I think, 10, sorry. See, one more question. Now, let me give the question, otherwise shortcut question. Better you write the question. So, very small now. Find force between two conductors and also calculate point of application of force acting on wire PQ as shown in figure. So again the same, they given this one. Let me draw a diagram here. This is the wire which is carries current I1 and another wire is placed like this. Yeah, this is the problem. Carries current I2. This wire starting is P name, this is Q. Okay, and this gap is given A. Length of the wire is mentioned L. Yeah, we have to find force between these two. Okay, force between these two. See again, to find this, again you can go for a small element at a distance of something x from the first wire. You take a small portion. Okay, so that portion is what? Dx. And identify in this dx, this will experience some force. Let us see in what direction that force will act. Due to this wire, the field is here into the board. Field is into the board. See the fingers into the board. And if I place my hand, this finger will give current, but current is right side. So current is right side, field lines are inside. Then tell me which side it will experience as force? Upwards. Otherwise use Fleming's left hand rule. If you are comfortable with the Fleming's left hand rule, then you can use Fleming's left hand rule. See, according to Fleming's left hand rule, into the board, this is current. See, this is the direction of force. So the direction of the force is dF. The dx portion experiences a force of dF. So that dF we can write it as BIL. I nothing but I2. L nothing but x dx. B, this B. Okay. And how much this B value? This is long straight wire at a distance of x. What is this B? So B is equal to, for a long wire, mu naught I by 2 pi r. Mu naught I1 by 2 pi r. R nothing but x. So dF is equal to B mu naught I1 2 pi x I2 dx. Then apply the integration. So if you apply the integration, dF is equals to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi 1 by x dx. Limits are very clear. Starting is a, ending is a plus l. A plus l. So F is equals to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi. This is what? Log of a plus l by a. Just I am missing one step, so you extend that step. Log a minus log b, log a by b. I am writing that only. So I got the force. So I got force is mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi log a plus l by a. So I got the force. But they are asking one more way here. Find the point of application of force. Point of application of force means like it says where it is applied. So it means point of application. To find the point of application of force, I am using integration method, like method of integration in center of mass. So point of application of force is, we can write x something h dash, which is equal to, so we can just, you can use x into df into x by df. Limits are clear. A plus l. A plus l. Just recall center of mass concepts. Okay, xcm, ycm, zcm. Method of integration. Okay, so substitute df value. Okay, substitute df, you will get the value. So what is df? This is df. Something x dash, integration of x. A plus l df. Df is mu naught I1 I2 2 pi x dx. So x cancel, and a to a plus l mu naught I1 I2 2 pi x dx. So mu naught I1 I2 2 pi, mu naught I1 I2 2 pi cancel. This is only x dx. So this is only x. A plus l. This is 1 by x dx. Nothing but log of x, limits a plus l. So substitute upper limit a plus l minus a plus l minus a. This is l divided by, this is log of a plus l by a. So this is the point of application of force.